So today my travels lead me to the county clerk's office. I have to get a vehicle name changed and I'm dealing with an estate. So I have a lot of things going on to try to get taken care of here. This place is always kind of hard to deal with, so we'll see how this works out. So let's do it. Get inside here. Let me show you how big this lobby is. Everybody's standing outside. They could have everybody inside. It's out here in November, December. Single digit temperatures. You got old people out here standing in line all the way around the building. Been over a year, we still don't have this stuff taken care of yet. They could do this better. There's a better way of doing it, but I live in Louisville, Kentucky. Backward ass place. So take a look at the inside of this place when I get in there. Right, take a look at this. I'll give you a tour around here real quick. Look at all this room in here. You got all these people waiting outside. See all this? All these people waiting outside in the weather. Sick people waiting outside. 10 o'clock on Friday. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 people waiting on people. Take a look. They're all empty. Line out back. All this room they could put people in. $10 o'clock. Looks like we're about an hour in, a little over an hour. Got everything done. Once we got in there, everything moves pretty good, but there's a lot of space in there that could be used better. They could get people in out of the weather. It's just crazy the way they got people out here like a bunch of cattle or something. Truly, it's bullshit. Plenty of room in there for more people. More clerks could be doing their jobs. You know, there's plenty of desks that were open. They could be getting people in out of the weather. It's just bullshit. There's Willow. She had a bad spell last night. We went through really, really bad hell last night. Yesterday evening. And there's Scarlett, smiling. Decided everybody was going to go with me for my last COVID shot, but I don't know if that's going to happen now or not, so let's see. Alright, we're getting ready to head out. Everybody's going with me. We're going to go visit Nana, and I'm going for my second COVID shot. I'll be glad to have that taken care of, so I'll get a shot of the whole family here in a minute. There's copyrighted material playing inside, so okay. Got everybody in the car. They're headed out with me to get the COVID shot. It's a little loud. I got the thank you. Had the sunroof open. Got everybody back there. They're being good. Everybody decided they wanted to get out, so they're headed with me. It goes pretty quick anyway. Just sit in the car and just move when they tell you to move. It's pretty cool. You drive through the middle of the stadium, the arena, and they just give you the shot in the arm. Anybody watching that hasn't had the shot, don't be scared of it. You need to get it. You need to help us all out. Look out for other people. Get the shot. So,
do you have your card?
Yes, I do have my. She asked if I have my identification card. Yep, I have it.
I believe that's going to start being very important for everybody. I think that's going to be a passport. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to go to events. You won't be able to get into certain venues, see live performances. I think that that COVID vaccination shot is going to be more and more important. Plus, they're going to start giving boosters. We're probably going to get a booster once or twice a year. And if you don't have those, I don't think you're going to be allowed into anything. And I think it's a good thing. We got to look out for each other. We got to look out for ourselves. We got to get the shot. They had a few things that they think may be associated with one of them. They haven't even proved that. And the numbers are so low. I mean, those could have been naturally occurring numbers. So I know for those people it was devastating, but out of 7 million people and you have nine cases, I myself don't think that's very significant, but I'm not a doctor. So anyway, we're all piled in the car. If you haven't gotten your shot, just about every state is allowing everybody to be eligible for the shot now. Go get the damn shot. All right. Let's get on with it. Okay, let me turn off my copyrighted material. All right, we are inside Broadbent Arena at Louisville, at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. I'm here for my second COVID shot. They got this thing set up good. You can get right on through here. They got everything set up to where it's just a smooth movement. Take a look around. See everything. You remember Broadbent Arena, huh?
Oh, yes.
You have old family memories here and stuff.
Yeah, we've shown cows.
So just waiting the 15 minutes now. Got the second shot. Feels good to have that. It really does. It does feel good to know that I'm a little more protected anyway. Doesn't mean I can't get it. It means I might not die from it if I get it. So it does feel good to have that over with. So we did end up have everyone with me today. Everybody decided to come get in line at the COVID shot. And we're going to go visit Nana. We're going to go visit Nana after this. So something kind of interesting for my viewers that are not from Louisville, Kentucky. That's Kentucky Kingdom, the amusement park. That's the back side of it. Zoom in a little bit there. Kind of cool to zoom in. And that's used to be a little roller coaster in there years ago. I think they took that out. I think it's like a show building now or something. Used to be a dark ride in that big metal building there. I don't think Kentucky Kingdom is even open. I don't know if they were open during the whole thing, and I don't think they've opened yet. It would be nice to see that open and running again. Other amusement parks have managed to open up and keep people safe, so I think they could do it. Probably our state probably isn't allowing it yet, but I'll be glad when they do. It'll be a good sign. And we're getting ready here for State Fair, and I will go. I will go this year. I guess we will be taking babies. I will be one of those people that I see every year and I go, oh my God, how are they doing that? I'll be that guy this year. Pushing the strollers and all the stuff and sweating babies and yeah, I'll be that guy. That'll be cool.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So here we are. 15 minutes and I'm COVID free. Not really, but here they are.
Scarlett.
Here they are.
Willow.
You gonna smile? You gonna smile? Hmm?
You are. Yeah. Oh, you're so pretty. Yes, you are. That's a pretty
She
baby.
rolled over yesterday.
Huh?
She rolled over yesterday.
Who?
Scarlett?
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you had that camera on.
I just turned it on. No difference does it make.
Just put it on her. Don't put it on me. Yeah. Ah. You think it's funny? Huh? Do you think that's funny?
The girls visiting with Nana. I think we've been over about every week since they were born. So
Yeah.
kind of a weekly thing.
Hey, baby.
Okay, headed out today. We have a job today. Woo! Doing replacing a toilet in a house. The toilet's about 40 years old, so I was gonna have the toilet and take it with me, but I'm concerned I might run into some issues before then. And this toilet's over 40 years old, so there could have been some changes made and things could not be standard. So I'm not sure. So I'm going to wait, get the toilet out, and go get the new toilet. So, all right, let's get with it. Okay, we already got started a little bit. Just had one of those box type covers over it, over the tank. So I took it off, and what we're going to do today is replace this toilet. And this toilet's been in, I think, about 40 years, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. The bolts are all rusted completely, and there's no movement, so they're going to have to be cut off, or the base of the toilet busted to get it out. So they're like that on both sides. The water shutoff valve is frozen in place. That's pretty common when you do these, so I'm going to have to shut off the main water supply and take this thing apart a different way, and we will have to possibly replace that valve. Needs to be replaced, but the toilet will be replaced, and we're not going to go back with the box. There's been some issues with the box, so there need to be some cosmetic work done to put the other toilet into place. So I'm going to pull this toilet out, or bust it out. Actually, if I have to, I'll bust it out, and we are going to make sure of our measurements. I wasn't sure because the toilet's been in so long, so I'm going to bust it out first, then go get the toilet. Okay, getting ready to get started. We got the water turned off, and we're going to bucket out what water is left in the bowl, so that when I pull this up from the floor, water doesn't go everywhere. So I'm going to got most of the water out of the tank. I'm going to make sure I get it completely empty. And I'm going to bucket this water out. Just using an old coffee can. The good thing is you usually have a bathtub or something that you can put the water into close by. always do. Always put a little coffee can or a bucket if you can get it under there, but a coffee can under the fitting that goes to the tank, because you're always going to lose a little bit of water from the bottom of that tank no matter what you do. So now right now I'm trying to put as much water as I can down in the tank, and I'm going to try to take this fitting off, and it's coming off, so that's a good thing. We want to try to catch all the water we can. There's a basement here, and we don't want all this water going down below. We've got a tile floor we can catch it on, but there's a basement, so unfortunately I can't turn this valve off. It is frozen, and it looks like we don't have a complete disconnect from the main water, because we're still getting a pretty good trickle out of here. And there shouldn't be any pressure on that thing. We're getting a pretty good run out of this thing. I don't understand why we're getting so much water. Okay, we're still getting quite a bit of water. Whoa, I'm getting way too much water in here. Shouldn't be that much pressure on that line if the main water line's cut off. I'm not getting any water on any of the other lines, so I don't understand what's going on here. So we'll just continue to let it drain for a few more minutes. Maybe we can figure something out. I have a bucket under it, towels. I need to find another bucket. Yeah, it stopped up here. Thank you. So what I did was had the basement, turned on the water in the basement, and that relieved the pressure off the lines. And if there is anything leaking by, it'll go there first. Well, of course, water is going to go to the path of least resistance, so it's going to, and because of gravity, it is going to run out of the toilet down there first, or out of the sink down there before it comes up here. So that relieved the pressure off up here, and I now have no water coming in up here. So we're good. Now I'm going to take this tank off the top. You don't necessarily have to take the tank off. You can, of course, you can take the toilet out without taking the tank out. I take the tank out just to relieve the weight off the thing. If you were doing a repair, you could take the tank off. I take the tank, like I said, I take the tank off because of the weight. Now, when you pull these bolts out of the tank, you're also going to have water come out, like I just did. That water is what's left in the very bottom of that tank. And it's more than you think. So get ready when you do that to have a little bit of water that you can't catch. And now it looks like we're getting water again out of the, we got some more water for a second out of the main line, which I don't understand how that's happening. I don't know how that's possible if the water's on down there. Man, this is whoa. Okay, it stopped. Thank you. So we have a problem here. It's something that needs to be dealt with eventually, but we'll have to get a plumber out here to do it. Main water shutoff is bad. We didn't know that till just now. So it's leaking by, and what's going on is once the pressure builds up, it pushes it upstairs. So you always need the ability to turn your water off completely inside the house. So we don't have that ability here now, so that needs to be addressed. You can also, I mean, you could fix that yourself, but you're gonna have to go out to the utility, the water utility, and shut it off at the main meter. And you can have them come out and do it. You know, you're really not supposed to mess with those things yourself. In the past, I just turn my water off at the meter if I can't get it off in the house, but that's something really that probably a plumber needs to look at. We need to have that water shut off and get a new complete shut-off valve put in the house. So I don't think she's going to like that. That's not good news. So I'm going to switch over to hyperlapse, so you'll see things going fast, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Not able to get these bolts out, so I'm going to break this toilet out. You just have to break the two edges out where the bolt comes in. Real easy to do, doesn't take anything to break this porcelain. That's only if you're not going to be fixing the toilet. Now this toilet's not fixable, so I'm busting it out and we'll replace it with a new one, a better one. Take a look at those. I know the lighting's really bad there. It's really bad lighting for the camera, but there's no way that these things are going to come out. Absolutely no way. They're rusted almost in two, but not quite enough to where I can break them. So the only other option we have is to cut those below the bolts, which is nearly impossible to do, or to bust them out. So I'm going to bust them out so I can get a look at this toilet flange before I go get the new toilet. Okay, it was that easy to bust that thing out. Take a look here. One hit on each side with a wrench and it's ready to come out. So okay, a couple things I missed and I want to show you when you're doing these toilets. This thing has a wax ring in it. I generally don't like these wax rings. We've come a long way since these things, and yeah, these things will work on just about anything you have, but we have much better things to work with nowadays. And so you can always get another wax ring, or sometimes you'll need to replace this the wax ring that's on your toilet. And I apologize for the low light. This is as much light as I can get. I may, if I can find my flashlight, may be able to get a little more in here. But this this bathroom has a very, very odd lighting system in it. That is as bright as the lights go. You can't make them any brighter no matter what you do. So the room is always dark. So here we are. Here's a better light. I don't know if that's any better, but there's the wax that's on the wax ring. This is kind of old school technology. We have much better devices nowadays. That this will always work, but we have better uses now. So this one I'm going to install a new type, and I'll show you that before I put it in. Okay, now I didn't go over real good as I took this out because I busted this toilet out. The reason I did it was because these bolts were rusted completely out. There's no way I was going to be able to get these out. No way I was going to be able to get the bolt off of the nut off of the bolt. Completely rusted together. Just wasn't going to come apart. And the way those go into the flange, get some light on this. For those that haven't taken a toilet out, these bolts go in the biggest part of the flange. There's a cutout section that's larger than the rest, and then they slide across into place. That gives you adjustment on where the bolts go in the toilet. Now when I get it cleaned up, I'll show you on the new flange, because I'm putting in a different type of flange. I'll show you how those bolts go in. Okay, got the toilet in, got the new flange in. Might have to take it back out. There's what those new type flanges look like. They're just a seal, and they have, some of them have portions you can take out. So if you have a different size, you can push it out to fit your size. If you need different ears or different bolt pattern, it accommodates a lot of different things. And it's it's a really tough foam. They got rid of that wax. Now some of them still even use the wax with this stuff. So, you know, I wouldn't do that, but this is one of the newer types. I think I have several here. This is one that came with my toilet. This is the old wax ring type. So I had the option of using either one, either type that I wanted to use. It has a black flange in the center of it. So if you've never installed a toilet, there's a flange that is connected permanently to your pipe, and that's what you saw me scraping off earlier in the video. Now, on top of that flange, after you get it cleaned up, if you were going the old school way, you would put this piece here, wax ring, and it has the plastic piece on it also. And this is wrapped, so you would take it out and you'd pull the wrapping off, then put it in, because that's the way they ship it. This was an option. This was an option in the toilet at my house, and of course I didn't use that option. Now I am trying to figure out these bolts on this new type here. This is actually I don't really understand how this works. I'm going to give you a shot on this side of what this looks like. Now there's some way that this sets on top and tightens down basically with a piece of plastic. So basically toilets basically set on with a seal, because if you put any type of pressure on this porcelain, it's going to bust. So they basically have to seal with either the silicone or the wax, and the bolts that are put into it, it's just to keep them from rocking, because it doesn't hold them down, because if you hold them down with this metal, it'll break. Okay, we're going to go on. I'm going to get these bolts put down and I'll get back with you. Okay, so unfortunately my footage from the toilet job where I replaced the toilet, the footage was corrupted. I don't know if it's my card. I believe it's just my lack of understanding of how the camera works. It's probably my fault. But either way, I don't have the footage to complete the job. So I'm going to show you with the toilet that I just installed in the nursery at my house. I will show you the parts that I didn't get to show you. So we're going to start out in just a second. Okay, so where we left off, I had installed the base of the toilet, which is the bowl. Now the tank, the part that holds the water that you flush, the part that has the handle on it, that gets installed on top of that base. On the back of the bowl, where most people that are watching the video probably know this, but there are people that watch my videos that this is their first time doing these things. So my videos are for, my channel is for everybody who is trying to attempt to do the jobs, whether you've done it before or not. So there's a hole in the back, and you'll see that the tank fits over that hole. You know where the tank goes, so you can see, you can judge by that where the tank sits. Now generally there's a large black O-ring similar to the one that I showed you earlier in the video. That big O-ring will either go on the base of the toilet or it will go on the bottom of the tank. Now you need to refer to your instructions to determine which one that is. Now you put the tank on the base of the bowl, and there's going to be two studs that stick out through the tank, through the bottom of the tank. Now, those studs are going to line up with holes on the base of the toilet, and that is you're looking at one of those studs. Now you're going to have some type of a fastener, be it wing nuts or something else. It may be some type of nylon. They're different for every tank, depends on the quality of the tank and the manufacturer. So you're going to put those studs through the holes, and you're going to tighten up those studs with the wing nuts or the supplied fasteners. Now, because you're setting this thing on a big rubber O-ring, it should have no problem sealing the water. So you don't have to crank this thing down, because if you try doing that, you're going to break this toilet. Now you want it tight, but you just want it tight enough to hold this tank in place. The weight of the water and the weight of the tank will actually seal for the most part, but you do want to make sure it's secured. Now after you get those two, either the wing nut or the nylon nut fitting, whatever the attachment device is, then you can go ahead and hook up your water supply, which is this. Now there's all different types of attachments. That's something you're going to have to figure out after you buy the toilet, what type of connector you have. Some of them are just a metal nut, and they have a braided hose. Some of them, like this, is PEX line, and this is like a quick connect nylon nut sleeve. And sometimes you have to put this white nut here. Sometimes you have to install that. Now let me jump back a little bit. If this is what you have, then you're going to go ahead and continue on from there. But if the toilet that you bought, let me take I'm going to take my tank cover off. If it does not have a water valve in it, or if it comes separate, this big black device here is the water valve, and that's what fills your tank up. Now sometimes this comes, either you have to buy it separate, or it comes inside the tank and you have to install it. Now if you have to install this, or if you ever have to replace this valve, they're very simple. No one should ever have to pay a plumber to replace the flush valve. They just shouldn't have to. So if you ever have to replace this thing, all you have to do is that white nut that I showed you earlier in the video. You're going to loosen that after the tank is empty, after the tank is completely empty, or you can put a bucket under that. And once you're going to take your water line loose. After you have the water line out of the way and loose, then you can take that nylon nut off, and this whole assembly will lift out. There will be a rubber gasket on both sides, an O-ring or gasket, usually on both sides, and this whole thing will lift out. Now this tube right here is just a fill tube. This piece here, that's where the water goes in. I'll show you how this thing works in just a minute. It just pulls out loose. It just literally pulls up, and this whole device will come out. Or if you're putting it in to install the toilet, this whole piece is going to go in
you're going to put your nut, you're going to put this through the hole, you're going to put your nut on it, tighten it down. Again, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to crank down on this thing, it's going to seal. And you run this hose over and clip it on this tube. This is the overfill. And I'm going to show you how all this works. When we flush, the string pulls the flapper open, the water goes down, that flushes the toilet. You let the flapper down, the water starts to come up. Now, the reason the water's coming up is that the water comes through the line where you just installed the flush valve, and it comes up through the valve, and the water comes through this tube, and this tube fills the tank. So the water goes down and fills the tank. Watch, when I pull this handle up, it stops the water. Now what's going on is this handle is connected to this big black piece there. That is actually a float, and that float is set by this metal, this plastic rod is set so that when that float gets to the desired point, the flotation, the buoyancy of that piece of plastic lifts the arm, and the arm actually shuts the valve off. So the valve is actually in here, and when this arm goes down, it allows water to come in. When that arm comes up, it turns the water off. So this black flotation device is doing the work. The water is causing it to float up, and that is kicking this arm off, which is shutting off the water supply. The handle that you flush, literally all it does in this type of a setup, let me get my camera right, it literally just pulls the flapper up. It allows the water to go down the tank that you just installed and down into the toilet that you just installed. And it's that simple. Now this tank, and also the way you set your height on your toilet, you turn this on this particular device, you turn this knob on this lever until it stops that flotation device at the point you want it to stop at. So if I wanted it to stop there, I would crank this rod up until it shut it off. Now they all work a little different, but they're all going to have some type of a adjustment on the flotation device so that it closes that arm and turns the water off. And that is about all there is to installing a toilet.
Trying to get my...
So that's all there is to installing a toilet. It's that easy. Pretty much anybody can install a toilet. Now you may run into problems that you might have to call in some help for. But if everything goes as planned, if everything goes as designed, you should be able to install a toilet on your own. Now, the big thing is, can you shut the water off and isolate this thing from the rest of the house? Also, can you get the bolts out of the base of the toilet? You may have to cut those out with a handsaw, or you may have to do what I did and break the toilet out and replace the part of the flange. So that could be what
causes you issues. But if everything goes as is designed, if you own a home, you have shown the capacity to be able to replace a toilet. You signed the necessary paperwork and you bought a home and you made it through all the necessary hoops to buying a house. You have the ability to replace a toilet. It's that simple. They are pretty much all like this. The only difference is going to be your fittings may be different, your water line may be different, you may have a different design tank, you may have a different flush valve, but they all work on the same principles. They all have a float device that turns the water on and off. They all have a handle that lifts the flapper or moves the flapper out of the way to allow the water to go down and flush. Anybody can replace a toilet. So that's going to be it for this episode. Remember, they may do it another way, but that's the way I do it. We'll see you next time.
Hey, if you like my videos and you want to be notified when I come out with new content, if you hit that subscribe button right there and hit the bell icon, you'll be notified every time I have new material that comes out. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Help me out. Thanks.